I had gone to New York. I apologize to Brother Anupam and some of the others who have heard me speak, and Sister Sujata here. I may be repeating myself. But this is a very important lesson that I learned, and I thought I should share with you. Because I have been learning bhajans, singing bhajans, been in bhajans all my life. And it becomes a mechanical activity. We forget that those words that we sing have power. They have power. We forget that. My husband and I, we had gone to New York for our 25th wedding anniversary to see a Broadway show. I had always wanted to go to one, and we went to the Broadway show. But before we went there, because it was our wedding anniversary, Swami had performed our marriage 25 years before that in Vrindavan. So we went to the Ganesha temple in New York, and then in Flushing, and then we went to the show. Now this was in the month of December. The previous 6 months before that, I had gone to Puttaparthi as usual in the month of July. I always went in June, July time frame. Being a teacher, those were my summer holidays, so I went there. And Swami, my husband had not come. Swami had called me and my 2 sons in for an interview. And while he was talking in the interview, he had materialized some vibhuti and he put it into my hand. And normally he says, eat it, eat it, eat it. You know, he's always very particular, eat it immediately. And we really don't want to eat it in front of Swami because you'll get all the vibhuti on your face, then you have to lick it, then you can't touch his feet. So, you know, you want to hold on to it. But Swami is insistent, says, eat it, eat it. So, but that particular time, he did not say, eat it. He gave it to me, then he got up from his chair, and in the windowsill, Swami always kept a whole stack of little square pieces of paper. So he took the paper and he took my wrist and he made me put all the vibhuti into that. He held the paper, held my wrist, and he made me tap all the vibhuti into that piece of paper. And he folded it very gently and he gave it to me and said, take it to America. So I thought, oh, my husband is not here. So Swami is making sure that we share the vibhuti when we get home. So I took it and I brought it back to my room, and very safely I put it in my purse within the zippered thing so that when I go back I can give it to my husband. And that was that in the month of June. And in December, I came back to Washington DC and I opened my purse and I had looked everywhere, and try as I might, I could not find that little packet that Swami had folded for me. My husband got a little irritated. He said, you got the interview but you couldn't even carry the vibhuti properly for me. So I said, oh, I'm really sorry. I know I had kept it carefully. I went through my suitcase, I went through my purse, couldn't find it, and we felt bad, and that was the end of the story. In December, I went to New York for this Broadway show, and in the intermission, I went to the ladies' room, and I was just there washing my hands when there was a Hispanic lady who was there in the bathroom doing some work, and she looked at me. I was wearing salwar kameez, I was wearing Indian clothes, and she kept looking at me. And I thought, oh, she's looking at me because I'm wearing Indian clothes. But it's not very strange in New York. There are a lot of Indians there. People wear Indian clothes. Everybody is used to seeing them. But she kept looking at me. And I was a little uncomfortable. Then after a few seconds, she asked me, you India? She asked me. And I said, yes, I'm from India. Few more minutes went by and she suddenly said, you know Sai Baba? She asked me. So now immediately you are alert, isn't it? Something you are in your home space. So yes, I said, I know Sai Baba. How do you know him? So she said, I don't know any Sai Baba. You know how we are all so impatient with our life. I'm like, okay, so then why are you asking me this question? These are my thoughts, you know. Then she said, no, I ask you, because she knows. She's asking me, do you know Sai Baba? She's saying she doesn't know Sai Baba. Then she says, no, I don't know Sai Baba. But I have a daughter who's 8 years old. She's extremely sick and she's in the hospital. Both her kidneys have failed and she's waiting for a kidney transplant. But I have no money for kidney transplant because I have no insurance. I just clean the bathrooms here in this theatre. I have no money for that. So every day I pray to my Lord Jesus. Every day I pray. I'm a Catholic from Argentina. She said, I pray to my Lord Jesus. I've been praying and praying, but he not hear my prayer. He has not heard my prayer. And suddenly 4 days ago, there was this man in a dress, she said. There was this man in an orange dress with curly hair. And he tell me that India woman come to your work. You ask her for, he said some word that sounded like booty. For booty, vibhuti, she heard it as booty. He said she give you booty. I asked him what is booty. He tell me it's white powder. Then I ask him what is your name. He says my name is Sai Baba. So I had this dream. I woke up and I thought I was going crazy because of my stress about the child. I didn't pay much attention to this. Then the following day, again I had the same. He didn't say devotee or anything. India lady is coming. I came to work, no India lady in this theatre. I went back, same. 3 days in a row, there was no Indian in the theatre. 3 days in a row, she had the same dream. This was the 4th day and she saw me in my salwar kameez. So that is the reason why she came and said, are you from India? When I said yes, she said, do you know Sai Baba? I said yes. Then she says, do you have booty, some white powder? So usually, in the purse we all carry a packet of vibhuti with us, generally as Sai devotees we are used to. So I'm racking my brain, oh my gosh, I hope I have some vibhuti packet to give this lady because she has told me about her child. I opened my purse and that zippered packet where I normally, and there sitting on top is that lovingly folded vibhuti packet from June which I could not find to give my husband on the top of my wallet. I found it, I knew that 6 months ahead of this woman's problem, our loving Lord had already heard her prayers. He had packed it and used me as the postman from Prashanti Nilayam to New York. I found it, I knew it was for her. I said, here it is, I have some vibhuti, you may take it. And I wished her good luck, I said. And she said, thank you very much. And I went back to the program, and of course it had started, and I had to cross through many people who were all giving me very tough looks because the program had started and I had to cross over to my seat. I went and sat down and I was so excited, I wanted to tell my husband and I started to whisper, and very similar to the lady yesterday, we were talking and the lady next to me said, shh, this is a Broadway show, you're not supposed to talk. So I said, okay, better keep my mouth closed. We are in a serious place here. And then program got over, we were driving back to DC and very excitedly I said, Mohan, you know what? You yelled at me so much that I lost your vibhuti, but it was never meant for you. Our ego never lets us go. Because my husband had blamed me. And I had been very sure I had kept it carefully. And I had told him, and he said, no, you are very careless. So I said, see, I was not careless. It was never meant for you. It was meant for that Hispanic lady. So my husband, being the practical NASA engineer, he said, that's all very fine. Did you take her phone number? We know so many doctors in the New York area who are Sai devotees. Maybe they can help her with her child. I said, no, I didn't take her number and all. He said, why didn't you think a little practically? I said, yes, but why don't you think a little spiritually? Vaidyo Narayano Harihi, we keep saying in the house. The greatest doctor on this earth is that Narayana, that Lord. What more doctor does that child need? He himself has sent the vibhuti. So we came back discussing. And being the human being that I am, every day in my prayers, I used to pray to Swami, Swami, I have given the vibhuti to her. Please take care of that poor child. Both the kidneys have failed. I prayed. 2 days went by, 3 days went by, 5 days went by, maybe even a month after that, mundane life took over. I forgot to pray about that girl. Finished. After a few days, my usual normal life continued. This was in the month of December, brothers and sisters. The following year again, as was my practice, I arrived in Prashanti Nilayam in June. I arrived in the morning in Bangalore. Afternoon darshan, I was in Prashanti Nilayam. This time all 4 of us were there. And Swami called us for an interview. As soon as he closed the door, he did not even walk up to his chair. He turned around and said, New York etlundindi? How was New York? Immediately I said, Swami, there was that lady. Telusule, kidney transplant emi vaddu. She did not need a kidney transplant. She's okay now. She's okay now. The child is okay now. I said, Swami, she was a lady from Argentina, Swami. She didn't even know English properly. She said she was praying to Lord Jesus every day. Swami, in such a matter of fact way, said, Ye peraite yemi bangaru. What name does it matter? By what name you call me? Does it matter? How you call me? That is important. How you call me? The name is not important, but how you call me, that is important. Whether she called me Jesus, whether you call me Buddha, whether you call me Sai Rama, it doesn't matter how you call me.